Hey guys, Wilburo here. This is going to be a bit of a different video on how I edit my gameplay videos. Now, as you can probably see by the screen, I already edited most of my, well, not most, but about a quarter of the footage that I have, maybe a bit less actually, and my mic wasn't working. Yeah, so I'm going to go along what I've already done, and then I'm going to go along editing and show you guys what I actually tend to do after, like, what I've already done. So, at the beginning of the round, I actually started recording like about 5 seconds into the round, so I didn't get the whole recording of what before happens. So what I actually did was I explained I'm not the best at recording. I actually did it, like, just recorded a bit late, and then I go straight into the gameplay video. So I go along for a bit, and then I have seen what are called different lines. So I have 3 different audio lines, so audio 1, audio 2, audio 3. I tend to only use 2, but I like to have a third one just as a safeguard. Then I have 8 video lines. Again, I only use 6 or 7, but I like to have at least 1 as a backup. And this, like, the first thing right here is the deaths and hits thing. So, as many of you may know, I have a little deaths and hits piece. Oh, let's go ahead and the deaths and hits thing right here. That is a piece that I've made up in Photoshop that I just thought looked nice, and then I've done the same for the name thing up here. I've got one for each of Pablo, Joel, and myself, for when each of us have different names, obviously, for our videos, so that you know who is playing. Then the deaths and hits thing I've just put in the bottom left hand corner, and you may notice I have an empty line over here. That is because sometimes I like to have a little silhouette, if I can find where I sometimes put it. Here. A little silhouette that I put in the bottom of each of the blasters, and like what the specs are. So, like, for instance, I have my Mega Hammershot here, Mega Hammershot. So I have this as the silhouette, which I think is the one that I've actually got highlighted at the moment, and then a 9 kg spring and full lengths, because I run a 9 kg spring and full length darts in this because I haven't removed the AR. And I tend to put that. If I'm using blasters that I normally don't use, I tend not to bother putting that in because that takes up a lot of editing, and you guys want more videos, right? Rather than more slightly edited videos that doesn't really matter. Anyway, other than that, I have deaths and hits. So I have a whole bin that I spent a couple of hours doing Photoshop, making different resolutions for each of them, and have either, like, in the bottom, corresponding to both deaths and hits, a 0 all the way to about 20, I think I did, because I don't think I'm going to get more than either 20 hits or 20 deaths in one round. So that I can just drag and drop them in and increment them in for each time I decide to get a hit or get a death. So when I do end up getting a hit, I like to space it out, so getting about a little bit before and a little bit after, I tend to chop up and then put it in slow motion. So as you can see here, it starts going slow motion. I put it at 25% speed, and then during that time, I actually time it so that when, at the exact frame that it hits the opponent, or in that case a shield, it gets the hit marker up and plays the hit marker sound. And then a little bit after, like you saw there, it stops the slow motion. I then keep on going ahead with my gameplay until I get my next hit, which is up here. Do the whole slow-mo thing again, and keep on going ahead in the video until, again, I get another tag, do another slow-mo, and keep on going ahead with the video. Now, a little bit later on in this, I die. So, I actually haven't put this in yet, so I would get the deaths and put that into the deaths part there. Bring that ahead, and now I've got, as you can see, when I die, it plays the death sound. Now I haven't put any sound like desktop audio in this because obviously I want you to go see the other video, see what audio I have. And it plays the death sound, and I go along for a little bit after the sound plays so that you can obviously see that I am running back to respawn, and as soon as I touch it, it stops the black and white and adds that little respawn sound effect that I got from CSGO. Now, I think I'm going back just to reload or something, I can't really remember, and I just keep on going on with my video. Now this part is a little bit boring because I am literally just walking back, so what I might end up doing is I tend really not to do this, but just cut that part out. Go ahead in my video until some of the action seems to start. And there seems not to be much action going on. And I can tell there's a little bit of action about to come, so I'm going to delete all of the footage that I don't want, and keep on going ahead into the video. And as you saw again there, I died. So what I do is I get another death ready because I'm already on the death screen, I may as well. So I just get another death, just put it in there and make the video a bit smaller, and chop it up so that, oh yeah, I know that's exactly where the death point goes, and so that I can put in the death sound effect. Now I wait for the death sound effect to be over, and about there is good. Then what I tend to do is just bring that ahead, and then go along until I end up respawning. So I then go to about this point here. That's good. Then all of the point of me running back, useless. Delete. Then go ahead and exactly when I respawn, I cut the video, add the respawn sound effect in, and then go over to my effects, which I have black and white ready. to add in to both of the parts that where I am dead, and exactly where I respawn, it turns back to color. Now bring the video forward a little bit, and as you can see there, Brad's also dead, so and as before, after I'm dead, I'm a little bit puffed out because I've been running for a fair bit, so I'm going to just chop off a little bit until the action happens again, and I can see a little bit of action starting to commence over around here. So then I just chop it over there. So I go to grab the flag, and as you could see there, time ran up as I was running back to grab the flag. So no team won, but in essence we technically won because we were going to go get the flag. So in that sort of case, I go to Photoshop, just creating a new file, and new select the resolution that it is. So the height is 1440p, and 2560, I think that's for what the resolution? Yeah. So I'm just going to quickly switch over to Photoshop. Yeah, there we go. And then this is what would come up. So I go to good old text bar, and if my computer will respond, I go times up, or I don't know, time the, actually I can do this in Premiere now that I've realized it, because this is only a one-off thing. I'm not going to be using this in any other video. So I add a new text layer, go from graphics, and of course my Premiere isn't responding. So then I go time ran out before I could, if I can spell, capture. Bring that out into the middle, and on the side here I like to get it a little bit to give it a nice little black outline. And whilst I remember, always save your video, kids, always, please, and then just put that in. See, that's why it's good to have it in the nice little bottom piece there. So then if my... yeah, don't know why it's not really responding that well. And then, since this is a 2-round game, I have round 2 Mortal Kombat Fight that I actually like to use as the round 2 fight thing. And then I just bring along all of my deaths and hits and everything, and then just bring them across so that if my computer will decide to do that, so that I can use it for the next round, which I'm not sure if this is 1 or 2 rounds. I think this is 1 round, but then it just goes from the time ran out before I could capture, and then round 2 fight. And as you can probably see there, the resolution has changed. So because I record at 1440p, but it's a different resolution to normal 1440p. It's like half 1080, half 1440p, because it gives me the extra little height that I like, so that I can actually, it's like 1920 by 1440, so it gives me the same resolution as 1080, but I like having a little bit of extra height so that I can actually see, like, for instance, if somebody gets hit above me, or like out of my camera view, I can just pan up and actually see that, or something. But I'm probably going to go into 1080p Super View, because I feel like that's probably going to be a bit better than having a bit of extra height, being able to see more sideways. So I guess I'm going to change into that when I go to my next game, which we don't have any organised soon, so I'm not sure when that's going to be. And gonna go ahead and edit. You probably don't really want to see any more of this. It's pretty much the exact same as the other round, but I'll talk to you when I get to the end, because I do edit things a bit differently near the end. Okay, so I'm at the end of the video. At the end of every single video, I've got a little outro that I have. So I've obviously got that ready. And then what I do is, because it goes for 25 seconds and 5 milliseconds, however, the actual outro part of it goes for exactly 20 seconds, because that's how much YouTube allows you to have the end screens, so like the little subscribe thing and all that. So I have 5 seconds and 5 milliseconds on the actual just black screen. Then on the first frame, which is what I just got up to, I create a little change, and that's because I've got the audio there. What that allows me then to do is to just bring this GoPro piece up a bit, bring this down, and bring it to about this point here. Then I can cut away everything that I don't need, which is all of that, and then delete it. Add this onto the end, and I have a finished video. And because this isn't the final rendered version, the frame rate is absolutely terrible. But then I've actually got quite a nice, if you could call it, video. But as you may know, my audio quality isn't the best coming out of this microphone, because I've got it running off of my computer, which is right next to me, and it's a desktop computer, and it's not the quietest thing in the world. So what I actually like to do for that is go to Audio Effects, go all the way down to Vocal Enhancer. What that allows me to do is just anywhere where I have my actual vocals speaking, it it clears that up and makes the background noise not as there, I guess. So that's pretty much it, and then what I do is you just do your good old file render and all that sort of stuff. And I guess actually before I do that, I find a good point in the video. So say I'd like to do it around when I get a good tag. So actually there's a good tag. A couple of seconds before that. And what I do is this little button here allows me to create, just export that image as a thumbnail. Then what I do is I go into Adobe Photoshop and actually open that file. I'll actually open that now, and whilst I have that rendering, so I can be doing two things at once. So I go File, Export. You guys actually can't see this because it's technically open in a different window and all of that stuff. But also, before I do that, it's always good to save your video. I've lost a fair few videos from actually doing that. And then you just change it, and because I have a decent bitrate, which obviously will take longer to render and all of that sort of stuff, it takes a really long time. And wow, this is white. It takes a rather long time to render this, so say, because it is around about a 8 minute video. Actually no, it's a 7-minute 54-second video. It would take roughly about half an hour, maybe a bit more, with the specs of my computer. Now, I might be doing a setup tour. If you guys really are interested in that, leave that below down in the comments if you're interested. And I'll go over my entire computer setup, including the specs of my PC, which is actually quite decent because I really like computers, and I built it myself, and I'm a bit of a gamer myself. I'm not a good gamer by any means. I'm terrible because I can't aim for shit, but I play games. But yeah, I might do a setup tour later on, and then I just rename the file. Say this is FFP. This is the second video I think I've done, so I just name it FFP2, and then export.